Thank you for joining us for Financial Fun Friday. And welcome, welcome, welcome. I am your co-host, Darlene Jenkins, and my other co-host that you see there on the screen, Dr. Rita Bailey Rowland. She is not with us today, but she will be back very soon. And we are your Financial Fun Friday team. We are being brought to you by ABS Retirement Solutions, where we're always bringing you what's new and what's next in the financial services industry. So thank you so much for tuning in and being with us today. Now, for those of you that are just joining us for the very first time, Financial Fun Friday, this is a webinar and a show that we do on the first and third Friday each and every month at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And guess what else we do? We broadcast simultaneously on Facebook. And during this broadcast, what we're going to do is we just pull back the curtains to give you an in-depth understanding of not only your federal benefits if you're in the federal government, because that is like our primary market. But trust me, if you're working and your goal is one day to retire, this show is still for you as well, because guess what? We also give you some of the best retirement options and provide you with various tips and strategies and just little nuggets to help you reach your financial destination, which is hopefully one day to walk away from that job and relax and do what you want to do. So if you would like to join us here live on the broadcast, where guess what? When you talk, we talk right back to you. You can register at bit.ly/Financial Fun Friday. Of course, if you're on Facebook, take the time right now, share us out. Go get on your phone and share us out. You can follow us at Your AB Solutions. And on YouTube, you can go back and watch any show that we've done. You just simply put in at ABS Retirement Solutions. Now, during this time of the show, this is where we also ask people, you all know what it is, to check in and let us know where you're watching us from. So I know we had some people on from Delaware. Thank you. We also have our Florida people. Thank you. So happy that you are with us, Shanita. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We have Pennsylvania in the house. Wait, let me go real quick to Facebook because I'm doing everything. This is normally, you know, what my partner does, but we're going to get it done. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see who is on Facebook with us really quick. All right, we have Fort Washington with us. Thank you so much. We have Washington, D.C. I appreciate you all. So guess what? Don't just keep us to yourself. Share us out. So before I jump into the information for today, I do want to let you know that the information I'm going to be going over will be general in context, because the reason we do that is because without knowing everyone's particular situation, we can't tailor this information to you. But what we can do, if I go over something or any broadcast you tune into, if we hit on something and you're like, hey, Darlene, Rita, guess what? Now you're on my street. You're talking to me. Just reach out to us at 301-577-6340, and we will customize the information and give you and your family the specific strategies and tools that you will need. So let's just get right on into it. So new year, guess what? New opportunities. We are leaving. We have left 2023 and now we're jumping into 2024. So let's get to it. What's in store for 2024? During this year, Rita and we're going to be going over a lot of different topics. We asked you last year, what are some of the things that you would like for us to talk about and get into? We're actually going to ask you, we're going to send out a survey, because sometimes you all are shy on here and online, and but we want you to let us know what topics you would like us to speak on or get more in depth on. So what I want to do for this first broadcast of 2024 is just share some overall updates in all of these subject areas. We will get more in detail with it. So if you're on here and you work for the federal government, let's just go ahead and talk about some of the things that's going on right now. Great news for you all. Guess what? You're getting a raise. And as a matter of fact, this is one of the largest raises you all have had. And I think they said 40 years. So you're getting a 4.7% actual pay increase. And I know some of you may say, oh, no, it's supposed to be 5.2. Well, a 0.5 of that is actually the locality pay. Okay, so that's how it comes to the 5.2. Also for your TSP, and I'm checking my notes to make sure I have everything correct, the deferral limits from the Internal Revenue Service has increased. So that means, guess what? You can put more money away either into your TSP or your IRAs, or if you have a banking, hey, talk to us about that. Like banking, what is that? Give us a call. We can tell you. But the deferral limit has increased by $500. So now the max you can put in is $23,000 a year. That's just what you can take out. Now the catch-up contribution, that stayed the same at $7,500. So that means you can actually put in for the year $30,500. So that's like $1,173 a pay period. Okay. And if you're looking at doing the max, then you don't want to do a percentage. This is one of the times where you actually want to do a flat dollar amount, because if you hit the cap before the end of the year, you will no longer get your matching contributions that the federal government puts in. So you want to do a flat dollar amount. And if you are doing automatically over the deferral limit, that they put that into a catch-up. It goes towards your catch-up contributions. Okay, so that's something for you to know on the federal side. Also for Social Security, let's talk about that. You all are getting a raise too. So Social Security COLA is going up to 3.2%. Now, in line with Social Security, because FERS employees, everybody now should be FERS. I don't know that we have that many civil service employees left. But FERS employees, this is important for you to know also, if you retire before age 62 or even after age 62, you're going to be getting that FERS supplement. And if you decide, hey, I want to do something, I want to go work, there is an earnings cap before they start taking away money. So if you're getting the FERS supplement, or even if you don't work for the government and you are retired and you started taking your Social Security at age 62, so the way it works is that Social Security has a chart. They have an earnings limit where you can only make so much money before they will start reducing your Social Security payment if you take the money before your full Social Security age. So the good news is that they did increase the earnings limit. And so it increased $1,080 for the year. So before last year, you could make $21,000 and still receive your full Social Security check. Now this year for 2024, you can actually earn $22,320 a year, or that's like $1,860 for the month. Now, if you start making over that, what's going to happen is that for every $1 you make over, your check is reduced by 2. So, you do the math, weigh the options. Now, one thing to keep in mind, even though your check may be reduced because you're still working, so here's the silver lining to that. Even though your check may be reduced because you're earning over, your Social Security credits are still accumulating because you are still working. So that's some good news. Let's go over, tax changes. So you're getting a raise, right? You got a raise, you're going to be making more money. Well, here's a little bit of good news. The Internal Revenue Service has changed the deductions. They've increased the tax brackets and increased the standard deduction. So what does that mean? The reason they did that was because of the inflation situation that we had last year. So even though inflation was coming down, prices were not. I knew I wasn't crazy. I'm like, oh, you saying inflation coming down? but my milk is still $5. Something is amiss here. So what they did was they increased the tax brackets. So if you earn, let's say, $45,000 in 2023, you would have been in the 22% tax bracket. But because of the changes that went into effect for 2024, now that same person, if your salary in 2024 were 45,000, now you're in the 12% tax bracket. Okay? So you may end up seeing more money on your check. In addition to getting the raise, that means they're going to be taking out less taxes. So when you file for your taxes in 2025, you're going to have less coming out and you will have less of a tax bite. Now, that's one side of the coin. The other side of the coin is that at the end of 2025, the tax code is going to go back to the 2017 tax brackets. So the Internal Revenue give it, and then they take it away. So the only way that it will stay the same is if Congress acts. You know, they say the tax code is the one thing in our legislation that's written in pencil, because whenever something, we need to make a change, we just simply erase what we already have and let's put something else there. So 2026, January 1st, 2026, remember, right now it's scheduled that the tax brackets are going to go back to the 2017 brackets, which means for most of us, we're going to be paying higher taxes, okay? And if you have any questions, please drop it in the chat. We can get into it. But again, all of these things, we're going to be getting more in depth as we go on through the year. Now let's talk about RMDs. They gave us some good news here too with the RMDs. Of course, you know, with the Secure Act 2.0, they push back the ages where people have to start taking the RMDs. So right now, up until the year 2033, the RMD age is age 73. So anyone born between 51 and 59, you definitely have to, your RMD age is going to be 73. Now, for those of us born in 1960 or later, because in 2023, the people who are 60, they are going to be turning 73, and that's in 2033, that's when the RMD age increases to age 75. So people born 60 and after, our RMD age is going to be age 75. Now, speaking of RMDs, there are often cases where when you first start taking your RMDs, and I don't know how many people know this, but if you miss your RMD, there is a penalty. There's a penalty that you have to pay. And the penalty was 50% of the amount that you were supposed to take. So let's just say your RMD was supposed to be $10,000 for the year. Okay, and there's a whole formula. And when we do our retirement workshop, we're going to go all the way deep dive into RMDs and how that affects your income and your standard of living in retirement. So if your RMD was supposed to be $10,000, but you forgot, you missed it or whatever, then your penalty was 50%. So instead of taking out 10,000, now you had to take out 15,000, because 50% of 10 is 5. So you had to give up $15,000. But again, with the tax changes and the Secure Act 2.0, they lower the RMD penalty from 50% to 25%. And if you go ahead and pay that RMD within 2 years, then you only actually pay 10%. So that's some tax savings that you need to know there. And again, we're going to do a deep dive into everything Social Security, especially for our private industry and our federal employees that are under FERS, because Social Security is one of your 3 tiers in your retirement system. And now for those of you that are 65, again, you're approaching 65, you're going to be 65 this year, or, by the end of the year, you probably have been getting a lot of calls about Medicare, because they know everybody that is turning 65. And the reason they start calling you so early is because with Medicare Part B, I'm speaking about Part B specifically. So you have a 7-month window. So they're trying to get you early to get into a Medicare Advantage plan. Now, if you work for the federal government, your health insurance open season closed December the 11th. So you were already being inundated back, starting in November about getting into a Medicare Advantage plan. And the federal FEHB program, they now do have some of the health insurance companies offer a Medicare Advantage plan. So, I don't know if you took advantage of that, but with the Medicare Advantage plans, you do have to have options A and B. So if you are still working, now this becomes tricky. Always the question, Darlene, do I have to take Medicare Part B? I'm still working, so now I got to be paying my full health insurance and I have to pay Medicare Part B. Well, if you are still working, and this applies for private sector people as well, the way the Medicare Part B premiums work, I'm really speaking to helping people avoid the penalty. Because as I said previously, and then I'll get into this last little bit, you have a 7-month window when you turn age 65. You have 3 months before your birthday to enroll in Medicare Part B. You have the month of your birthday to enroll in Medicare Part B. And then you have 3 months after your birthday to enroll in Medicare Part B. Now, if you decide not to enroll in Medicare Part B during your enrollment period, and you come back later and say, oh, you know what? I should have taken Medicare Part B, or, oh my God, I forgot to even enroll. I wanted to do it, but I forgot. Well, now it's a 10% penalty for every year that you could have enrolled and did not enroll. So you really have to think about, okay, am I going to take Medicare Part B? Now, Medicare Part A, we've already paid for that while we're working. The Medicare premiums that are coming out, that is actually paying for Part A, not Part B. A lot of people get that confused. So when you turn 65, it doesn't hurt anything. It's not going to cost you anything. Go ahead and enroll in Medicare. Part A, you're still working. Now, for people who are working, this is where it gets tricky when it comes to when you turn 65. If you are still working and your employer offers you health insurance that you are enrolled in, okay, you got to be enrolled in the health insurance program, then you do not have to decide if you want to take Medicare Part B. That 7-month window does not apply to you because you are still working and you have coverage through your employer. But here's the deal. When you retire, now you're on the clock, and that's what's called the special enrollment period, because you were still working and you had health insurance. Now that you are retired, you have to now make that choice. And you have those 7 months from the date you retire to make that decision. So you have to be really careful, especially when you are retiring, you're taking out money, because your Medicare premiums are based on your income. And again, we're going to get more into how Medicare works, things you need to be aware of. Again, whether you're working for the federal government or you're working for yourself or in the private sector, these rules apply across the board. So when you take out money from your retirement accounts, again, as I was saying, the Medicare Part B premiums are based on your income, and not the income in the year you retire, but from 2 years back. So it really takes planning, and that's what we specialize in here at ABS Retirement Solutions, is making sure we can, we look at all of the factors as we put together a strategy to help you reach your financial destination. So I just wanted to give a high-level overview of some of the things that we're going to deep dive into. And if you have some things or, some comments like, okay, Darlene, come on, Fun Friday team, let's discuss XYZ estate planning. Send it to us, because that's what we are here for. Mr. Alan Lakin has always said, this is our favorite quote, that planning is bringing the future into the present so that you can do something about it right now. That's why we're talking about RMDs. That's why we're talking about Social Security. It doesn't matter if you're on here and you're 45. One day, unless you cross the river early, and I mean the river to the by and by, the great by and by, that's what my grandma used to say, you're going to one day reach 65. So you have to start planning, put it in place. And then you do it now so you can, make sure you're okay when the elderly you shows up. And we are here. Contact us so we can help you map out a strategy to put all of the pieces together. And you can reach us at 301-577-6340. And we can help you and your family on the road to reach your financial destination. So I appreciate all of you joining, sticking in here with me today. Like I said, Rita will be back, and we're going to be doing a deep dive into the topics I went over, and many, many more. So thank you so much. 2024, here we come. What's in store in 2024? More of the good stuff. Come on back on September. No, I need y'all to come back in 2 weeks on January. Help me. What's that date? See, Rita will already know the date. January 19th. At 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come on back here. And when you come, bring one. No, don't just bring one. Bring 3. And tell all your friends on Facebook and on Instagram. We coming over there too. And everywhere to come on and follow the Financial Fun Friday team on Facebook and on YouTube, and soon on Instagram. So thank you, everyone. I appreciate you joining us, and Happy New Year. Let's make this the best year of our life, because this is the year that we have right now. So everybody have a great, great day and weekend. Stay safe, and I will see you all back here on January the 19th. So thank you so much, everybody. Take care.